Simon, can you say something?
Hi there. It's okay, I think. Yeah.
Oh, it's not working, so hold on.
Oh, okay. Not working.
Mm,
Hang on. Let's try that. Is it working now? Yeah. Yeah.
okay, we can hear loud and clear.
Loud and clear.
Okay, okay, we start now. Sanje chodan soji chonamla changshu mardo dane jabso je daye jinso gebe chonamje drona benje sanje drobar sho sanje chodan soji chonamla dane jabso che daye jinso gebe chonamji drola benje sanje drobar sho sanje chodan soji chonamla changshu pardo dane jabso 다게 진속 예외 초남지 로라 벤지 상제 주버 쇼 동년이 이제 손도 주버는 현재 순서를 간주된 적 차나베 모든 진자조로 소원도 조신도 쇼 ram점 송럽고 따위 미 계산 탈발을 좀 제외 답이 현재 신년 결라 차서 노 Yeah, in English, Simon.
I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddhas, the Dharma, and the highest assembly. From the merit of practicing giving and other perfections, may I attain the state of Buddhahood for the welfare of all sentient beings.
알았어. 음. Okay. Hanzu, we are on the 16. Mm. Te bon, se ni ba, c'est das. Mm. Mi samba da te bon, chulous. Han debut. Da kandarjan shini gongkenji inere. 아니, 지가서 그래. 대화. 다 너도는 대화 되니 슬라노. 그 캡처해도와. 대화 되니 지네레. 아니 신의 셈때무지 되니 지네레. 아니 딘데지 대be 까블야. 아니 로 카릴을 디버 치고 그래. 아니 로디 아주 마소네. 되는 쪽 디인스. 아니 샤르단 쇼라 아니 니주 데 용베까블라 딜레야 아니 포커스 마치르체. 포커스 디 메인디 간샤. 아니 니주 디주 중베이나야. 아니 데조다 용기를 교육처는 주부기를 봤어. 아니 얘는 디기가 얘기 아니 메인 포커스 얘기 뮤조 아니 딜만해 보지 지금 세계 담전 때 무조건 그랬어. 어디 인도 좀 배탄다 디나라다 빼지 채원체 아니 에 지 가서 그래 셜로가 주도 받디나라 봉외 면도 정지신 최규 전zam랑내니 다 최세도 디간라 최세도 먼저 디야고요래 단다 대샤다 태와 남기 초 최를 접수 채고 오세 대샤기 꾼디 통용도 전에 대샤다 태와 지기 채고도 세 디최 채고도 꾼디 통 아니 꾼당 태와 등이 채고 세딩 좀 미유조 차도도 언디나시 단다 최 이렇게 된점 랑내니 시도 최의 지단에 가를 주주체 단다 니가수 아니 최세도 대차당 최와기 최 뒤된점 랑내니 근long 원체 마통신스 다데네 지기 지딩기 차원남에 나서 지기 소소 되는데야 떡이 면선에 내용거리 통기 면선에 내용거리 저와 샤기 면선에 저와 샤기 키그리데 얘는 뒤줄이야 하는 안 주기 샘기 저와 간디 샤기 봐 스타나 다른 송데 다 디르다 하바도 있더니 신내용 검등이 지기 메데라 근데 하바도다 참도 잡체 상대행이 미지라 탐자 컨디션이 슬랍도 아니 미단 저와 샤단데 도스여기 다 컨디션이 수도 아니 디카산디나 주만나시 지금 디냠도 데이즈 드군데 네 차단기 계좌들이 레온도 선배 아니 디단 지부치에 다른로 땅 마도 콜럼 마가비 좀세 코 두자이 도스라베 마임바 딜레 땡치 니 유튜브도 sen 수수 심규 따고 잡베티 고조베 인도점베 아니 지금 배샤용도 당매기 정치 전도년에 면도라야 면도기 닝부디 냉가도베 갑라야 아니 면도가 가도라야 고콘 대화 많이 봐 면도 지기 수업달 지기 인슈는 대화 많이 봐 그 닝부디 벌써 닝부디 수 렌차바당 아니 그 그런 게 그게 다 장사로 바로 이번에 최고고 이랬어 너들이 시샤 디버 never chance 어디 직년이다
So when we so looking at the 16th verse of the chapter here, which reads, in the same way as a bee takes honey from a flower, I should take merely what is necessary for the practice of Dharma, but remain unfamiliar as though I had never seen them before. So this is in relation to being in contact with other beings, other people. And so at the beginning, of course, if we put this into a context of the particular chapter being someone who is meditating on calm abiding or shamatha, but also we can make that a wider context, which would encompass those who are meditating on shamatha. That would be the motivation to meditate on shamatha. But then there would also be people who are driven by just generally by a much broader kind of motivation for those that wish for happiness. And in order to, but within that, if we're wishing to accomplish a kind of stable mind, particularly the stable mind of calm abiding, then of course we have to try to keep our minds fixed on the object that we've chosen to meditate on. So, for instance, whatever kind of situations come up for us, surrounding us, we have to remember that kind of mind, the mind of shamatha, is a mind which is focused purely on the object of which it's chosen to focus on. So whatever other situations are going on for us, we have to try and a little bit sort of isolate ourselves from that and not be affected by it, but to be able to remain focused on the object. And the one thing that helps us to do this is a kind of reflection of what causes will bring what particular kind of effects. And so to keep the mind, so the purpose is to keep our mind focused clearly on the main object of our meditation. And for that, you need a strong sense of resolve or sort of promise to ourselves that we will keep our minds focused on that. And the example that is used in this particular verse is here of the honeybee focused on extracting the nectar from the flower. In the second line of the verse, it says, I should take merely what is necessary for the practice of the Dharma. So here, very specifically, what I mean by what is meant by the Dharma is the Dharma which helps us to remove attachment. So seeing the faults of that, but it is the Dharma that helps us to get rid of our attachment. So in connection to that word, the Dharma, which is used in the second line, that's how it should be explained. And then it reads, but then it sort of talks about remaining unfamiliar. So this is in the context of the earlier verse of where it talks in the earlier verse, I think it's verse 15, where it talks about how we should not get involved in situations with people where our anger and our aversion and attachment are liable to be provoked, or people who provoke that, or situations in relation to people that provoke that. So that's that sense of drawing away. When we talk about meditative retreat, being drawing a boundary and keeping away. So it says in the it says in the text, sorry, it says remain unfamiliar. So it's not that it's not that there's no connection, because this has been explained before, but what we're trying to do is we're talking about the kind of mental state that is required to cultivate these kind of refined states like shamatha. And so we need to we have this sense where we don't get involved in the connection. So what we're putting aside, the it's not that we're unconnected, but what we're putting aside is the situations which and connections with people that are going to provoke our anger and attachment, and we draw ourselves away. So we take ourselves out of those situations and kind of isolate them ourselves from them. But this is not done in the sense that we feel that the other people are bad people. This is not a criticism of others. This is a sense of taking control of our own mind. So then when we relate this to the example which is given in the text, where the honeybee, as it says in the first line, the honeybee takes honey from the flower. The honeybee comes only for the essence of the flower, to take the nectar of the essence from the flower, and is not distracted or drawn towards the color or even the smell or other features of the flower. It is there for one purpose, which is to extract the essence. And then once it has taken the essence, it it returns to the hive. It returns to the hive, and so this is when it talks about remaining unfamiliar, as though we'd never seen them before. That's what it means. It's not that there's no connection, but it is in order to create a kind of space for us to do this meditation.
알았어. 다, 당어도 줍든딘다. 17. 다니, 녀망 꿀띠지. 다라망보 가우시 딘지 녀바 창교나 시오도 지고지에서. 17, please.
I have much material wealth as well as honor, and many people like me. Nurturing self-importance in this way, I shall be made terrified after death.
다, 닝굴로 소바 차와바마스. 다, 지기네 엠발데. So staying in the isolated place doesn't mean that you become isolated from distractions. The main reason why you wanted to become in the cave, like a Milarepa style, is to gain something, not to escape from something. So most of us, let's say we are in a cave now, and going there is easy. Making a decision, that's not just a stupid decision at the moment. And let's say make a decision. So you give everything what you have, saying life is temporary. We don't know when we are going to die. We wanted to do like realize something. And with strong motivation, good decision. And then we go to the cave. And then what will bring with us is maybe just few clothes and maybe few rations. What's that? Rations? like foods, Russian, not Ukraine Russian.
Alert from continuity camera. WhatsApp call
Okay.
TSR
Oh,
Pro
okay,
Max.
that's not the word. All this. He's trying to read. Okay, let's put it in 1 hour. Don't disturb. Okay. So sorry about that. And then what will come up is full of the memories, full of memories. Because I'm sharing this through my experience. So you don't want to go out because you already said to yourself and to others, because you are in the retreat and you don't dare to go online. The green things will just pop up. So, and then you are kind of isolated, but then in the mind, oh, so much distraction, more distraction than before. Normally, we don't give ourselves the time to look into our memories. We just go hang out and look, and everything is become like a very fast thing. And in the retreat time, it comes with all the memories, looking into yourself. And then in there, mostly you're stuck with your pleasant things in the past. Even there will be bad memories. Maybe it caused you pain or something. But then you will look for something like that was so good, that was so good. It goes. So, and then with these kind of distractions, what is the most unhealthy is the purpose that you are going to gain from the retreat becomes so big that you start kind of this distractions becomes one of the priority. And then it's so hard to look into the focus, the main object. So that's the reason what I'm saying before going into retreat, the purpose of going into retreat and the purpose of what your main thing in your life should be like absolute the main thing. How will you know when this becomes a priority, the number one thing in your life? I think maybe you in a relation, maybe you have so many things around you. Whatever kind of things pop up in front of you, but you would just look into other situation like a secondary. Then like something big things happened in front of you, but you will not totally dissolve into that. You are like, okay, this happened. Like you're looking at the second thing. Then you will just come back to your main focus of the life. So unless you don't find this, then going into retreat is something like from like me going into retreat. For like first 1 week, oh, so good, something new. And then we will attach to the old memories and then future. And then you will start thinking like, when will this retreat finish? And then maybe it takes time. And then what is like if you're doing recitations, you start counting how much you finish, how much left. All this becomes so much problem. So like this, this is a strong message from Shantideva saying, not only who's in a retreat or in the cave, but whoever who feels like I'm a practitioner, I want to practice. this motivation is needed. So that's why most of us, we are like devoted to do something in our life, like, oh, I wanted to have a liberation, big things. But then when you decide, we always forget, like, these decisions we make, does it comes with, like, you think it's really important, or you start already loving it? Many of us think it's so important, and then you feel like, I wanted to do it. Not because, like, you feel like you just smell a little bit. You heard the pizza is so good, and then you're going to a restaurant. But you just smelled it from far away, and then you cannot just resist. So we don't have that yet. So that's why this is very necessary. So here in the West, I get lots of questions, people asking me question about what is purpose of my life, and how there could be many purpose. People who practice Dharma, there could be many purposes. Like if we break into three, it's the three scopes. So, which it is not necessary that even His Holiness says bodhicitta very important. But of course it's important. But it's not for us to decide I want bodhicitta. We can put like it's so important, but it's relevant, or does it make for you the joy of listening to it? Is there this kind of joy? If not, how to bring this joy towards it? So, so this it's a very good poetry. Poet, how do you say that?
Excellent poetry,
Excellent poet. Poet?
It's
Poet.
very
Poem?
poetic. Very poetic.
The poem is the same.
The poem. The poem. Okay, the poem. Okay. That this is on the 17th. Dani Nyamang Kurtiche Dala Mambo Kawashi Dindrig Nyamba Changyuna Shivu Dojiwaji. Oh, now when a person who wants to have no distractions, and now where do you want to call it? This is distraction. This is distraction. To label this is a big thing, I think. Person who is meditating on specific, like a renunciation, and how do you call this and that are distractions? But for an example, when you are meditating on the object of like holy object in front of you, and then you start thinking not that kind of relevant, thinking something else. Like even you start thinking of like what is cessation, that is told is a distraction. So how are you going to say this is distraction? It's a hard thing. So like for single pointed meditation, of course, even you are doing analytical meditation, where how do you call it's relevant or not? So this we need to keep in our mind. So that means this analytical meditation and debating is so important that a good debater will be having very good focus on one subject. And then even asking, he could ask very question that goes very deep. Like when I was in Canada, I was when we were given our kind of homework, how to interview. Good interviewer should ask one thing, like say that you are from Megalganj. And then if you wanted to ask about Megalganj, then they say like, yeah, I'm from Megalganj. And you shouldn't stop there. Then you just go more details, like, so in a Megalod, then this, that. And then you continue so long, like all about Megalganj. So like this, we are trained like that. In a debate, we do have that. So go so deep. So like this, in our day-to-day life meditation, so we just wanted to stay on the track. And that debate system really helps. And then, like, one of the number one distraction is we can say, doubt. When there's a doubt, then you just go, maybe there is yes, maybe there's no. Okay, doesn't matter. That doesn't matter, takes you to somewhere else. So people have like a quite a good, like when we talk about three types of doubts, when it's more like this could be the one, yes, true. Tunjulgitesum, how do you say that?
It's doubt tending towards the real situation, the correct situation.
With this, there's a great hope to improve. If the doubt which is leaning towards karsatanda,
what is incorrect,
incorrect side, leaning towards incorrect side, then more restrictions, because you stop there. Because you wanted to decide it because through your ignorance. Like saying like many people who doesn't want to believe about the past and future life, they just like, I don't want to, I don't think there isn't, no. But they don't go look into the situation. Why you guys are believing in this? What is something to gain something from that? So it's more for the like Buddhist people, even past and future life can be confusing, but then we dare to look into that, saying like through this, we know how to invest in our life. So we being very careful with our life. That's being leaning towards the positive side. So with the distraction of saying maybe now just forget about it, let's enjoy all through this part, then so much distraction is there, because we just become like a freedom. That freedom has to pay lots of price. So just I wanted to say something, so I said. Okay. Da dine din nanglo le ke chishu di nyeba mangbo dala kurdi cheso dala jewo mangbo gawo she din digi nyekshin jakbar changwar dyuna nga je da chakbe nyebe se nyebar ndrebi shiwe wodo jikwa jewo ta nga je dirisha dinge division injina lapsha wamendo. Now it's talking about the pride.
I'll read the verse
Okay.
as you're speaking. So Rinpoche is reading from Gyaltsabje's commentary to the text. Sorry, I got the wrong. Yeah, so he's reading from the Gyaltsabje's commentary to verse 17 here, and it says, one says, "I have a lot of gain. I am praised, and I am very popular with others. If one holds such arrogance and conceit, one will go to the lower realms due to the faults of pride and attachment, and one will generate fear for what comes after death." Sorry, there you go.
Arrogance는 ngaji disgorbe.
Yeah, Nagil, here he's translating, yes, arrogance, he's translating it as, yeah. Nyemshin Jakwa, he's put arrogance and conceit.
Nyemshin jakba.
Yeah, or maybe, Tiruwa. Nyem said it's a bit like holier than thou. Feeling of sort of being more virtuous than others or something, or better than others. Tiruwa.
어제 주변 시에도 지나러 다가라는 거야. 제가 the more this is a great teaching, because it doesn't necessarily say if you get a presence, praise, everything, then you should stop taking this. It is not saying like that. It sounds like that. But more we should understand, when people start giving you a present and then praise, you need to check yourself whether this is really fitting your pride. And the pride that automatically somehow you just brings so much pride, that pride would stop you from learning, stop you from getting the realizations. And then with this pride, what we do is you feel like, I'm so good. And then there you go, you stop learning. And then sometimes maybe from this way of thinking, you sometimes feel like I'm better than my teacher. And maybe you might feel like, what is the Buddhist trying to say here? Doesn't make much sense here. All these are coming. So of course, it is not saying that we shouldn't have a doubt before. Yes, we should have a doubt. But then there should be one decision in your life that you just feel like, this is the right track, this is the main goal, this is what I want to achieve in my life. On this way, there's no retreat from there. With this kind of a commitment, and then you are every time hungry, positive hungry, good hungry. And there's obstacle to this hunger, this positive craving. That is the pride. So we need to check, like some people's, because we don't know, maybe some of the qualities we have, we might have this quality, but then some people start praising you, you have more pride, you have more overconfidence, but you don't realize this unless you need a special mirror to check in. So that when ultimately you feel like, oh, now with this kind of, like my teacher, one time he was giving lots of teaching to his students. And then that student start offering lots of things. And then my teacher said, he returned the things back, saying, please do come to the class, but stop giving me this because this is really, really contributing towards my eight-worldly concerns. So please take this back. So right after doing this, my teacher felt so happy. Opposite from me. People start offering, and this stop fitting me, and then I will get angry a little bit, maybe. But my teacher is something else. Now he stopped there. Like, please don't bring it. So right after this, he becomes so happy. So I'm amazed by this, not because he stopped, he requests person to bring these things, but immediately how he gained this happiness. That's what I'm looking for. So here Shantideva is reminding us here too. And then Dala Mangbo Gaoshe, Dinjigi, Nyamba Changjorna, Shividu Jibutje. Now we should make a connection with this kind of a praise, this kind of a pleasant feeling that you get from others. Shantideva is saying this could bring some kind of suffering in the future. This we need to check. So my teacher already felt 100% with this kind of thing, wrong mind, delusion, plus this kind of attachment towards this arrogant feeling is really going to disturb my happiness. And that, with this feeling, my teacher can make this connection, like Shantideva said here. So he was so happy he stopped doing this. Like this could be true because if you look at the situation where drug addicts, some people, they stop it because their dear friends, dear ones told them not to consume this kind of thing. And then they don't see any kind of they can see, but they choose the happiness, the temporary happiness towards their life, healthy life. But there could be one person that he can see this is really, really, really stopping him to achieve something bigger happiness. For that kind of person, is much, even his body reaction could be something like used to this, and he has to consume that. But then he will be so careful taking the drugs. And then one day he does not need to have drugs, and then he will be super happy because his mind is so ready. Deep inside, he feels like he does not need it, but with the body, because he get quite addicted, so that maybe his body needs it. So like this, with my teacher, he's seeing this. There you go. I'm fitting my pride. So that is not only a great teaching to the person like me who is sitting on a throne, but all the rest of you also just check whether the praise and the present and the people showing a smile towards you, how genuine or how healthy it is for you or not. This is a good message. 시위부도 지고 제사 때는 전 지고 제오사 다때는 차변님이라스 다디 아제디체 아제님이디체 다되는 차변님이 디 접제치 접제될 대외 넘버 봉비기 강다 차주바 대당 대동 동주도 동행이도 줄신 당사 18 please.
So you thoroughly confuse mind by the piling up of whatever objects you are attached to. Misery 1,000-fold will ensue.
이제 동대 동바 동주도 대부 동행이도 줄신 당스 접제바스 다되는 접된 추지 타버지 제와 접제바들아 가로송샤 kyudi tatigi tuzu dungingi nyingwe lasi dewe gyur lomnes. Dewe gyur lomne. Tedan kanda kanda chashin shenpar gyuni tewe jimbalo soba jizam lonchoba tedan shede tedan tigi nuba chochido nombali dribu nami nyongbe tuzu kone kondo gyagyur tonggyudu penni dungengido gyurshin dangwa sa. Dipadasha. 아데르스 등이 교회 대월 하나 차신 신부를 교회 대회 정발로 쓰고 논주 당신 신변 누가 되는 초초도 너무 저거는 오늘 공도 동주도 펜스 다 다디나를 착백이 이미 디 지단의 착백이 이미 딱 장난 줄 냠용을 반자는 셰베이나 다도 또 소를 내베 돈 대베이나 아차비님이 something 미쳐버지 something 미쳐서 그러베 다까지 가서 그래 다레 고 딜이야 something 매버지 그래 또다 디나로로 소냐디 차비님이 디 아니 고지 딜이샤 가서 그래 취미이지 세대 내시 주경도가 출도 미팅바 출도 미팅바 스튜디오 점베 되야디 대활런데 텔라 차 이나야 텔라 때니 동해망부 저기야 레용해지 코로나 자베기 로 당부제베디다 대베추 대버레데 이나야 대화 디기 때야디 대화 딘데지 마드메베 이나야 디기 취미 이지기 남도 디기 아니 가르 장용도 가르 장용도 세 내가 침부를 디기 가르 장용으로서는 동해망부지 장용 다 동해망부 장단딩가 저기 삼로지야 뭐 하모거나 아니 당아주 다라로 와 세미나로야 아니 얘기 디 인지게디야 고요로 방안저 디 녀복고요 말할래 디 펜보도 제상가 아니 why message 그래서 그러봐 아니 why this has to happen to me said 인지기 디 사면년 디 송다
Then the whole section, she mentioned just this before, the whole section is talking about the faults of attachment to faulty things, and then the verse 17 is the attachment to the faults of pride, and then the second outline, which includes verse 18 here, talks about the faults of attachment. So the faults of pride and the faults of attachment. So here, the main thing that's being pointed out is in terms of attachment, is that if we really look at our situation, if we can be unbiased about it, then really we don't think about the faults of attachment at all. It's something that we don't really consider. But one of the sort of factors of talking about faults of attachment is to talk about the kind of incorrect conceptual, what's called suminishiginamdo in Tibetan. It's a very difficult word to translate, but it's something like incorrect kind of mental engagement with incorrect attention or incorrect mental engagement with objects. And so we don't really sort of consider this, but one of the ways that you can explain how it is incorrectly engages or incorrectly sort of works with its objects is that one of the ways of thinking about it is in terms of looking for happiness, but ending up with suffering. So what happens is that we often wish for happiness, and then we get attached to those things that we feel will bring us happiness, and then that very attachment itself is a process which drives us to end up with suffering. So it may be that there is some kind of small benefit, comfort, or happiness, but then because of this kind of mental factor or this kind of mind state which misinterprets the way things actually exist, misengages with it, and so that eventually looks at something as though it's happy, but ends up bringing us suffering. So we have to sort of understand this. We have to understand why this is, how this happens to us. And what we often end up in is this kind of, we don't really understand how this happened to us and then what is happening in the process. And so we end up with this mind which feels kind of, we feel that why is this happening to me? Why is it me? Why am I this thing happened to me? And there was something that struck me as very beneficial or very important about this kind of what I'm about to say.
Oh, so this is really helpful because this way of wailing, do we say wails? Huh? 단다. 와일빙 왜? 깽깽의 쇼바티. 깽이 봐. 깽의 쇼바스 주바.
가서 건데.
지금 웨링 서베 더부. 아? whining 왜? whining. whining.
Yeah.
Complaining, whining. Children whining and adults we complaining. Different. Same. But they so we say this because the expectation of your attachment is designed to last very long. Like expectation should be here to this, like saying when we are in a relationship, saying I will love you forever. Right? And they're doing the marriage, you make a kind of a commitment, right? Saying like until the death, something. That is very pure for everybody at the moment. But if you ask to yourself, it does not last that long. So that we need to check how pure and unpure. We need to study this a little bit. So that's why your expectation was so high, but that your attachment is focused very narrow. And then as expectation, that attachment becomes two different things. And then saying, why this has to happen to me? So situation becomes different, then you cannot fit into that. So there's always a complaint because you expect too much through the attachment. So that's why 차교가 대단 동조도 등연히 so saying now in English I think it's or translation or there. Your happiness is for this, but then 1,000 times the unhappiness it comes with, like in a package. And that you need to answer this, isn't it? So most people, they don't have answer for it. So that's the whole problem. Yeah. So and then also we can say Digpa Pelwa Karsore. Digpa Pelwa
increase our negativity or increase our
increase of our negativity. That it is not saying like increase is something like if today we do something bad and that negativity becomes if 1, 2, 3, not like it is double multiplied, but it's more like you get to get attached towards the negative, and more attachment towards this negative thing becomes so strong, and then it will become hard. More you have a more attachment to this, and harder it is to take it down. So it sounds like it multiplied. Actually, you spoiled it. So like you spoil a little child, and then one day you will feel like it's something wrong from the child, but you don't blame yourself sometimes, isn't it? Okay. 다음에 줄구버티. 대외 캡에 참여죠. 착벌리는 직벌기 배다랑 신 도르주베 땜빠지데 랍도 또 오사. 19 please.
Hence, the wise should not be attached, because fear is born from attachment. With a firm mind, understand well that it is the nature of these things to be discarded.
This verse, I think Lama Tsongkhapa used that in Yidim Kwe Pinsoji. I think in Yunten Shigyuma. The Kare Yunten Shigyuma, the English na Kare.
Foundation of all good qualities.
Foundation of good qualities. In there, the Lama Tsongkhapa mentioned there, saying, and also in the Lamrim Chimo, the Stages of Path, he says, the attachment is something yitendruwa. How do you translate that?
It's not something that can be mentally it's not kind of mentally to be mentally relied upon, or it's not stable. If you
Stable.
relying on it, it's not stable.
It's
not reliable. Best
reliable synetic to reliable. So what is the definition of reliable? Here we go, right? So I have a good example which my teacher shared to us. So my teacher, when he went for a vacation, home, his home, the parents' place, and then there he has his sister's small, I think 6, 7, maybe 6, 7 years old, cute girl, and then she will be so happy when some of her relative, girl who is maybe like in 16, 17 years old, girls come and give her a company to play with. And then every time she's coming like on the weekend, on a Friday, she goes so excited. And that goes on. And one day, when she was coming, and then her reaction was like, not showing any happiness. And everybody asked, and your best friend and close friend is coming to meet you. So before you show lots of excitement, now you are not showing this. What happened? They thought there's a problem going through these two friends. And then the small 6-year-old girl's response was, before I used to be happy because not kind of thinking that she will come and leave. I only focus on she's coming. Now I'm thinking she will come and she will leave again. And my happiness will go down very quickly. When she said that in front of my teacher, it was a very great teaching for my teacher. Because now my teacher is looking into this kind of situation where Lama Tsongkhapa described. And then he was so amazed. Kind of like, wow, even this small child can understand this kind of reality. Then, but her parents was complaining, saying, you don't know how to enjoy your life, so on. And then my teacher was side of the small girl, saying like, no, you guys don't know how to enjoy life. So similarly, like this, we attach to so many things. We are so occupied, feeling this will last. This only gives some kind of happiness. But then at the end, deep inside we know, one day we have to leave that, and that will leave us. So we should train this kind of mind. So then what brings this kind of mind is how to bring the limited happiness where what is in the package. And then what not to expect more out from there. Staying with reality. And then if you want to look for something else, then we will always say, what is the ultimate happiness? And then also we will look for, not only for ultimate happiness, we will also look for ultimate reality or ultimate truth. So this is a very great teaching. 대외 개배 참에서 차발은 지금에게 대다랑신 도리유배 땜버리지데 rab도 또. Maybe I'm going too fast. Maybe there are like two other translators. Maybe. Okay, good. Okay. 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 So I think we can stop here today. Okay.
Rinpoche, there was a passage that from the last class that I forgot to put in the class, so I'll translate it and put it into the class about the honeybee and also.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, from
Sure.
today, I got busy and forgot, so I'll put it.
No, you cannot forget that now, because in the morning breakfast time, maybe if you use honey.
Only Marmite, I'm afraid, in England.
Okay.
I'll put it in the group for the
Okay.
page that you had
Okay.
mentioned. So I'll
Okay.
translate it so that people can.
Okay. Yep, great teaching from Shantideva. So thank you, everybody. And now we do a dedication. Yeah.
Having thoroughly investigated in accord with all that I've heard, day and night, for the four reasonings, mind born of reflection on these topics of contemplation, may this discernment sever all doubts. In the land encircled by snow mountains, you are the source of all happiness and good. All-powerful Chenrezig Tenzin Gyatso, please remain until samsara ends. In all my lives, never separated from perfect gurus, may I enjoy the magnificent Dharma. By completing the qualities of the grounds and paths, may I quickly attain the state of Vajradhara. I fully dedicate all these virtues to be able to train just like the hero Manjushri, who knows reality, and just like Samantabhadra as well. I fully dedicate all my words of virtue with the dedication praised as the best by all the gone beyond victorious ones of the 3 times in order to have good conduct. With my heart going out with great compassion in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread, or when spread have declined, may I reveal this treasure of happiness and aid.
Thank you.
Grazie Mario.
Thank you, Matt.